Hey guys, it's Carissa here with Inky Fairy Designs, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing a little mixed media art journal page that you can see here, and I am starting off with using white gesso and black gesso by Dina Wakley Media. I have just recently received the black gesso, and I was really excited to kind of play with it. It's something that I've been wanting to use for a while, and so I was really excited to get some. And so I decided for this page I would do a combination of white gesso and black gesso just to kind of see how mediums play and look on both areas, although I kind of really just leave the black alone and when I ended up going through the process of this page. But you'll kind of see how it works, and I'm just brushing it on very messy, not really worrying about any leftover stenciling that was on the page. You know, I'm just doing a very light coat of both of these gessos on the page to get me started. I've had I think in the past few videos or past few pages I've done, I've really liked the black and white look, so we'll see how that goes. I'm using the collage paper backgrounds from Dina Wakley Media. I love these words. They're so great to use, like cut them out and use them individually, but you know how much I love text. I wanted to use them all, like this full page of background collage paper on this page. And so to put them on there, I'm using gel medium from Dina Wakley Media. I finally got that regular gel medium, so I don't have to use a heavy gel medium for light things like this, so that's really good to have in my stash. And I do put a coat on both my page as well as the paper that I am collaging down. I feel that gives a really good firm stick to my page. Like I don't have to worry about that it's going to come up or lift up or anything. And then I give it a good coat on the on the top. So I kind of just ripped it here on the bottom, kind of following the white. So I really just wanted these words on the black area because they are white, and I thought they would look really good kind of peeking through the black gesso. However, I did not anticipate or did not foresee that the paper would also really kind of show up. I really thought that the collage paper would really disappear into the black, kind of like the way that it does when I collage tissue paper or something like that on top of a white page, but it didn't do that. And so, yeah, that just didn't happen. Even here you see how it looks wet. Even when it dries, it still kind of keeps that paper. So I kind of, in hindsight, like when I look at a page later on as I'm watching the footage and I see the paper, there's like things that I would do differently, and I'll kind of talk about that maybe a little bit later. But I'm showing you the paints that I'm using: turquoise, ocean, eggplant, blackberry, and fuchsia. And I picked colors that I really, really love because this page is all about my word of the year, which is inspire. I don't know if you guys pick a word of the year. I don't normally, I'll be honest, because it intimidates me, because I feel like then what if I don't do it, or what if I fall off and I don't kind of complete that for the whole year, and it always kind of bums me out. And I'll see other people picking their words, and they're always so confident and so just they've got it down, And this year, I went through that a little bit, and then I saw I was watching somebody give a presentation, and they talked about inspiration or being inspired, or that word, just inspire, came to me, and I was like, that's my word. Like, if ever there was a word that I wanted for my year, it's inspire. So that's where this page, how it came about. That's what my my thought process, what I was thinking about as I created it. And so that's why I picked these colors, because they're my favorite colors. They inspire me, they uplift me. And when I've been in kind of a little bit of a slump creatively after December and putting out the whole 12 Days of Christmas series, and just kind of got in a little bit of a slump. And when I'm feeling that way and I want to create something, I've been wanting to create this page for like 2 weeks now, I pick out colors that I love. So that's, if you're ever going through a slump, do that. Pick out your favorite colors and just keep it simple. So I pulled out this Caramel Studio. It's a printing plate. I think that's what they call it, but I'm using it for stamping. It's great for when you're doing gel printing and stuff like that, to add texture to your prints. But I'm using it to add texture to my page just as a stamp. And I pulled out this Prima Marketing Elements Messy. It's like a little script text background, and I just love it. And I'm actually intentionally stamping it sideways because we have all the text going left to right. I wanted some text to kind of break that up. And so that's why I stamped it sideways. I had this heart forever. I did a page, I don't know, like last year. I know, last year sometime. And I cut this heart out because I love Dina Wakley when she kind of cuts into her journal pages and makes shapes and windows. And so that's where that came from. And it's been sitting in my journal waiting to be used. And I thought I'll put this on this page because this is something that's on my heart, and it's in the shape of a heart, and so I decided to do that. And then the Strong Women stamp, I did not link that below because I couldn't find it, so I'm thinking it's a discontinued or retired set, but you might be able to find it if a retailer is still carrying it. That stamp that I put on the heart, the canvas heart, is one of my favorites ever. One of the first stamp sets I ever got, and I love that stamp. I mean, I remember using that in one of my very first art journal pages. So I also used the circle stamps from that same stamp set and added some texture. I put some just gesso on it, and now I'm really inspired by mark making. I'm obsessed with it a little bit. You've been seeing it in my artwork a lot, and so that's what I'm doing here. I'm using the same brush, adding different marks onto my page, just using like that gesso and letting it kind of fade off onto my page, placing that heart around, deciding where I wanted to put it. Then I let that page sit overnight, and I'm coming in and adding some journaling. So I don't know if you guys follow Ranger Ink and Dina Wakley on their blog, but she has a Show Us Your Media challenge. I believe that's the hashtag every month. And they might be changing it up how it works in January, but their December one was still going on. And so that's what I'm doing here. She always encourages you to kind of journal your thoughts down. And so I'm just journaling what inspire means to me and what I want it to look like for this year, and how I want it to affect my family, my faith, my art, and my business. And so I'm putting all of that into my page. But of course, I am doing it in a way that I'm kind of over-accentuating the ascension lines and the descension lines of the words. And then I'm also overlapping all of the words so that it's not intentional to be read at a later date. It's just for me to get my thoughts out in that moment, because I know when I open this page, I'll know what it means. I'll look at it and it'll remind me of when I created it. It'll remind me of what I was thinking, what I was processing, and letting all that out here as part of the page is so therapeutic. And anytime that I'm creating and going through something, I love to add this type of journaling to it, because you don't have to be worried about somebody coming behind you and reading it. It just becomes part of the artwork. So I'm using my Sakura Permopaque opaque paint markers, and I totally forgot about these. These are awesome. I used them again. Like I said, I am into this whole mark making thing, and I'm using this pen specifically for mark making. Now, like what I said earlier, the collage paper that I put on the black gesso really kind of lightened it up more than I wanted it to, and so I thought I would come in and add more of these black marks to that area specifically, just to kind of darken it up again. I was a little afraid, and this is so crazy because you shouldn't be afraid in your art journal. Like, that's what it's for, to experiment and play and try new things. But I was very withheld, I think, when I created this page. I was very I don't know what's the word. I wanted it to be nice. I wanted it to be pretty. So I'm showing you the stamps that I'm using here by Tim Holtz. The cutout lowers. These are awesome, by the way. I love them. They're like foam stamps, and they stamp really well on a journal page that is pretty, you know, I've got other layers behind there, and I've got other things and texture on that page, and so it stamps really good. You'll see here. So they're really cool. I'm going to be definitely using these a lot in my journals to create different words and stuff. But anyway, I was saying I wanted to kind of bring that dark out again, but I didn't want to cover up those words from the collage paper. So I was really torn as to what to do. If I would have thought about it sooner, I would have intentionally torn that page on the right-hand upper side more so that it followed that line down, because I really love how the left side, the left bottom side looks, because it follows that line and it looks very integrated into the page. But the upper right hand side, that I have that, even though I tore it, it tore pretty straight because they tear really nice, and so it just looks like it stands out to me. But that's just what's going on in my head when I look at this page. So I stamped out inspire because that's my word, and that's where this page all stemmed from. And then I also put 19 on there because it's 2019. And even though I date stamp all my pages, I just wanted that like to be part of the title of the page. I'm going around all of the letters with my Posca white paint pen, which no, I have not replaced it yet. I do need to do that. Eventually here one day I will do that. And it's funny, when I was editing this video, I thought, did my nails inspire or subconsciously inspire the colors on this page? No, I just love those colors, so they're on my nails, they're on my art journal page. I love blues and purples and all of the cool tones of the color wheel. That's just, those colors make me happy. So but I thought it was kind of funny because my nails kind of do match the page, even though I don't really have a light pink on there. But yeah, so I'm coming in with those same Permopaque paint markers, adding just a little bit of color to the stamped image on the hearts. Not a lot, just kind of scribbling a little bit of color there. But those markers are fantastic. I will definitely be pulling them out more this year. They are opaque, like the name suggests. They're permanent, like the name suggests. So why I have not used them more in my art journals, I don't know, but I will now. It's like when you find new art supplies in your stash, it's always a good day. It's always a good day. Shop your stash, right? So I picked out some words from some Tim Holtz clippings and his small talk stuff. I really love those. I just felt like I needed a little bit something more. So I'm using that, just the gel medium. I could have probably pulled out the heavy gel medium for this canvas heart, but I felt that it was light enough that I would just use what was on my desk at the time, and if it didn't work, I could always pull that out. And then I'm adhering the stickers as well. I believe the one sticker says, under inspire, she whispered it under the starry sky. Here's a little bit close to, yeah, she whispered it softly under the stars. Here's a little close-up of all of that texture and yummy layers. I think it's really, really pretty. And then inspired me, this really spoke to me. Live, create, and tell the story. That's what Inspire is all about. When you inspire somebody else, you're living, you're creating, and you're telling somebody about it. You're telling that story. And that's what I hope to do in this year. So I'm just date stamping it. And off camera, I was still looking at the page, and I was feeling like it's not quite done. So I just added a few more marks with that black Permopaque marker, which you'll see in the still shots. I really love how this page turned out. I hope you enjoyed watching the video and seeing it come together. I did speed it up, and I'm sorry if you guys don't like it sped up like that. It's hard when you take footage from about an hour, 45 minutes, and try to condense it into a viewable time, but I try, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're a new subscriber, or if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I want to take a moment and thank all of you for subscribing to my channel, new subscribers over the past year. Anybody that leaves a comment, I so appreciate that. I see them as soon as you leave it, and I'm working my way through getting caught up with those responses. It's really important for me to take a moment and respond to your comment, especially if you ask a question. If it's not right away, I will be responding to you. So thank you guys again, and I'll be back in the next video. Until then, stay inspired, be creative, and share that with others. Bye.